Welcome back to this week's episode of the Hereford Huddle. I'm here with a special guest today, not our skeleton friend here, but with Sarah Baulch, our athletic trainer, as well as we're going to hear from Coach Naron and Coach Garcia to see what's going on with Hereford Athletics.
What's up, Herd fans? In football this week, we've got junior high taking on their last game of the season next week, and we're really looking forward to the great things that they're going to do as they move on to other sports. High school football is in the middle of district play. Right now, the varsity is 1-1, working to try to get a spot in the playoffs. I want to give a special shout out to the girls and boys basketball team. They both started practices within the last week, so we're about to see the hostile Herd and the Lady Whitefaces take the court for some hoops action soon. And won't be much longer before we see the wrestling team in action and soccer tryouts coming right behind that. So a lot of big things coming up for winter sports.
Congratulations to our Lady Whiteface volleyball teams as they swept Pampa and have swept Borger. This week, they'll be facing Perryton at Perryton on Saturday. Their last home game will be next week on Tuesday. Our 7th and 8th grade volleyball teams are wrapping things up this week with their district tournament. We wish them the best of luck. Go Herd.
Sarah, thanks for joining us today. Can you just start out by telling us a little bit about how you got into athletic training and about how you ended up in Hereford?
Yeah, so when I was a sophomore in high school, I hurt my knee and had to have surgery. And I spent the entire first semester of my sophomore year in the athletic training room at Odessa Permian. And my athletic trainer gave me a love for it. It was more than just fixing my injury, it was working with people. So it gave me an opportunity to do something, stay involved in sports, and to find something that I really loved, helping people. So I was born in Hereford, and we moved to Odessa in 1995, so I was 10. And when Doc retired, I got a phone call and got asked to come back and interview, and it was just coming home. So it's been nothing but great ever since.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here. I know, I've benefited from your work that you've done with my own knee injury when I was in high school. So I know many athletes can say the same thing and that they're happy as well that you're with Hereford. Can you just talk about a little bit about what athletic trainers do?
Yeah, athletic training is a lot more than just taping and water, which is, I think, what we see on TV if you watch a college or pro game. But it's the evaluation and diagnosis of injuries. It's coming up with treatment plans to rehab and get athletes back. It's injury prevention, but it's also nutrition and sports psychology and just developing relationships that help the athletes trust you.
That's great. And so I know you have a class, where you help students get into the athletic training world. Can you talk a little bit about your class and about your student trainers and what they do?
Oh, yeah. So I'm lucky because I get to teach kinesiology within our CTE programs. And in our classes, we learn basically the anatomy of the human body, what works, what happens when it doesn't work. And we look at those injuries, and they learn basics of wound care and taping and injury evaluation. And all the skills that they need to come in here into the athletic training room and help us in here and with whatever sport they work. The really cool thing about our program, we have 63 high school students this year and 8 middle school students. So I think we have a ton of kids, which is amazing. But they're drum majors and volleyball players and football players, and they run cross country and track and play tennis, and they do everything that we have. But they come out here and they learn how to work together, and they learn how to work with coaches and athletes and how to help each other. And so even when they're the drum major and something goes wrong, they can help immediately then until we can get there and assist more.
That's amazing. I love definitely seeing the kids on the Friday night game days and just watching just their love start blossoming for this field.
Yeah.
And so you're doing a great job. We love to see it. What do you typically tell your coaches to help prevent injuries in any of the sports?
I think the most important thing we talk about is the importance of a good warm-up and making sure that the muscles are prepared for what we're going to do, and that we really emphasize nutrition, making sure they've eaten before in the day, because if their body is just out of gas, it can't go. Emphasizing making sure that we're hydrated and the importance of not just water, but things like Gatorade and Pedialyte and things like that. And then just good technique all the way around. Doesn't matter what sport you are, whether it's tennis, football, baseball. If you're not using good technique, you're going to get hurt.
Well, I'm sure they appreciate your feedback to help keep their athletes safe. On a typical game day, you're often seen on the sidelines. What do game days look like for y'all?
Ooh, game days are hectic. So we come in, we do morning treatments starting at 7 a.m., go teach class, come back. We'll spend the next 2 to 3 hours preparing probably 50 gallons of water, 30 gallons of Gatorade, so at least 80 to 100 gallons of liquid for the kids to drink, making sure that we have their pregame nutrition stuff set up, but as well as having all of our medical equipment packed up. Early afternoon, I come back, set up the training room for taping, or get ready to load everything we have in the trailer to head out of town. And contrast to some of the schools we play, and like most of them in our district, I feel like we take almost everything we have because we want it to be as much of a home game as we can on the road. Pre-game taping starts between 4:30 and 4:45, get kids treated, taped, out for warm-up starting at 6, game at 7, clean up about 9:45, 10 o'clock, and usually home from a home game between 11 and 11:30.
Goodness, that's a long day for y'all.
It's a long day.
But, athletic trainers are so crucial to game days, and I think y'all are sometimes overlooked in y'all's important role just in the whole aspect of things. So we appreciate all the work that y'all put in every time.
Well, thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to say to Herd fans?
Show up and watch our kids. I think we have the best kids in the Texas Panhandle, hands down.
For sure. Well, thank you, Sarah. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode. Remember, we have sports going on all weekend, so get out and support our Herd. We have our winter sports coming up soon, so more exciting things are happening with Hereford Athletics. Go Herd.